We welcome our viewers worldwide to this Monday, September 11th edition of CNN 10. My name is Carl Lazus. We're glad you're watching. Our coverage today centers on two natural disasters and the anniversary of a terrorist attack that changed a nation. First, Hurricane Irma has made landfall in the United States. It came ashore yesterday morning on Cudjoe Key off the southern tip of the state of Florida. Irma was a Category 4 hurricane at that time with 130-mile-per-hour winds capable of catastrophic damage. And unlike forecasts last week, which predicted the storm would hit Miami directly and then move north along the East Coast or right through the center of Florida, Irma shifted a little to the west over the weekend. And last night, it was making its way up the west coast of Florida. The cone you see here indicates how the hurricane could still move east or farther west. Either way, the cities of Naples, Fort Myers, and Tampa were in its path. Tampa's mayor said his biggest concern was the storm surge. Here's what that looks like. It's a rise in sea levels blown inland by a hurricane. And Irma was forecast to hit Tampa during high tide, which could make it worse. As Florida and Georgia braced for Irma's impact, people in the Caribbean island nation of Cuba were taking stock of the damage after the storm landed there Friday. It was a Category 5 hurricane then. Throughout the Caribbean, Irma killed at least 24 people as it passed, and some areas saw complete destruction. With some uncertainty about where exactly Irma was going and how much damage it would do, the story is just beginning for the continental U.S., where Irma's intensity is being felt.
We're safe where we are here in terms of what might come on us. It may not look that way, but it is, otherwise I wouldn't be here. But these gusts, this is intense, what is coming down these corridors right now. And you can see it behind me. And the pictures tell the story.
You can see the water. You can't even see 50 yards anymore to our right. The amount of water that's being pushed along the street and filling up here, and we're in we understand one of the higher areas here in downtown Naples. The water in other parts of the neighborhoods that we were able to survey this morning and throughout the day yesterday have to be an incredibly dangerous situation. The good news, as we've reported over the last day, is that many of the people here in Naples evacuated this area. We didn't see but a handful of people out and about throughout the day yesterday, so that is a good sign.
Moving to another coast now. Rescuers are scouring homes in southern Mexico. They're looking for survivors after a tremendous earthquake struck about 74 miles offshore on Thursday night. With a magnitude of 8.1, the tremor was capable of destroying entire towns. On average, the world only sees about one quake this powerful every year. Mexico hasn't had a tremor like this for a century. It struck an impoverished area, there were multiple aftershocks, and government officials say it killed dozens of people. Many in the region were asleep when the quake struck near midnight. It was felt hundreds of miles away in places like Mexico City and Guatemala City. And it generated a tsunami, a massive ocean wave that measured almost 6 feet in one area. Mexico's military and police are helping in the search for survivors and distribution of medical supplies. Memorial ceremonies are being held across America today, 16 years after the worst terrorist attack in U.S. history. Americans are honoring the thousands who were killed and the police, firefighters, and other rescuers who died trying to save them. The assault was carried out by the Al-Qaeda terrorist group, a radical Islamic organization based in Afghanistan and Pakistan. 19 Al-Qaeda members hijacked 4 U.S. passenger planes on September 11, 2001. They crashed 2 of the planes into the Twin Towers, the skyscrapers that formed the World Trade Center in New York City. Both of the massive buildings collapsed soon afterward. A third plane was crashed in Washington, D.C. It hit the Pentagon, the headquarters of the U.S. Defense Department. And a fourth flight crashed into a field near Shanksville, Pennsylvania, reportedly after its passengers and crew tried to take back control of the plane. 2,977 people were killed in the September 11th attacks. And just over a week later, U.S. President George W. Bush declared a war on terror. The Southeast Asian country of Afghanistan was giving Al-Qaeda a place to live and train at that time. And on October 7, 2001, after Afghanistan's Taliban rulers refused to turn over Al-Qaeda's leader to the United States, America led attacks against targets in Afghanistan. The conflict there continues today. There are many Americans who clearly remember the horrors of the September 11th attacks. In this look back, we're bringing you the perspective of a journalist whose first on-air assignment for CNN was to cover them.
And this is one of the most memorable shots from that day. This is Aaron Brown on the roof of CNN's old bureau in Midtown Manhattan. Everyone has a 9/11 story. Mine starts with hearing the words, "What channel is CNN on?" We turned on the television and never turned it off. Aaron Brown helped me and so many other people feel a little less afraid that day. He anchored all the way until midnight, until 1 in the morning, and he was never even supposed to be on that air that day at all.
There has just been a huge explosion. We can see a billowing smoke rising, and I'll tell you that I can't see that second tower, and we see this extraordinarily and frightening scene behind us of this second tower now just encased in smoke. What is behind it, I cannot tell you. But just look at that. That is about as frightening a scene as you will ever see.
You must have known through that smoke there was nothing there, but you couldn't see it yet with your own eyes.
I felt in that moment profoundly stupid.
Why?
I will tell you, because I will tell you that a million things had been running through my mind about what might happen, about the effect of a jet plane hitting people above where the impact was, what might be going on in those buildings, and it just never occurred to me that they'd come down. And I thought, it's the only time I thought maybe you just don't have what it takes to do a story like this, because it just had never occurred to me.
Let me look at one other moment. This is the second tower falling, when you did seem more prepared for what we were seeing.
There is a large fire at the Pentagon. The Pentagon has been evacuated. And there's, you can see, perhaps the second tower, the front tower, the top portion of which is collapsing. Good Lord. There are no words.
Silence is what you used in that moment. When you see it now, what stands out to you?
First of all, from the moment the first tower fell, there was a clock ticking. And it was ticking in my head. It was ticking in the heads of hundreds of millions of people in America and 1 billion people around the world who are watching it. Because if the first tower fell, the second one was going to fall too. In that moment, there were men, mostly men, firemen and policemen, who were running into that building that was collapsing, and knowing that they were never going to come out. And I think when that building fell, I understood better than at any other point in my life, before or since, what the word hero meant. It's not that we didn't try to tell that story great, it's that the story itself is too great to tell.
We're at the point now where this really is history.
It was something that I was fortunate professionally to do and painful as an American to live through. It's a weird contradiction that journalists live with. The ambivalence of on the one hand loving the big story and on the other hand hating the fact that that story is happening.